Richard Allen is the man that we're talking about here. He's the one who's charged in the deaths of those two young girls, Abby Williams and Libby German. They went together on a hike near the Monon High Bridge trail that was in Delphi back in February of 2017. We've been following the case ever since then. Both girls were reported missing. The family made the discovery of their bodies the very next day.
Now let's put this leaked search warrant in context of the entire investigation. It starts when Abby and Libby go missing February 13th, 2017. And just one day later, February 14th of 2017, that's when search and rescue find their bodies. And then February 15th, this image right here, police released this picture from the bridge, an image we've been looking at for quite some time. That leads to the audio on February 22nd of 2017. It's the down the hill audio. So March 17th is when a search warrant was issued for the home of Ronald Logan. Not many contents were discussed of that search warrant, but we knew all of this information right here. That was about it until the first sketch of the suspect was released in July 17th of 2017, which leads to quite some time later on April 22nd of 2019. That's when ISP announced that they were moving in a new direction. Now, one thing that should be noted, that all of this was happening before Ronald Logan passed away in 2020.
This is the home and property that is mentioned in this latest leaked document. It was home to Ronald Logan before he passed away in 2020. And it's also where police found the bodies of Abby and Libby more than 5 years ago. And even though this document is from 2017, it's giving new details that were never released before. Back in March 2017, 13 News was there when FBI searched Logan's property. We also spoke with him multiple times, and he even walked us back to the crime scene.
I can't really wrap my emotions around it. It's just so mind-boggling. I haven't really caught up. It hasn't caught up with me yet.
But recently, the podcast Murder Sheet obtained the sealed warrant. In the request, the FBI agent wrote, "I believe there is probable cause to believe that Ronald Logan has committed the crime of murder, and the evidence of that could be found on Ronald Logan's property." The agent then went on to detail why, saying Logan asked a relative to create a fake alibi for him for the afternoon that the girls were reported missing. There was also cell tower data that tracked his phone to the crime scene. Plus, investigators interviewed two women who had been in a relationship with Logan, and both reported that he was physically abusive. While investigators continue to track down leads, the community hasn't given up hope. Posters remain in many downtown windows, a constant reminder of this unsolved case.
It just feels like yesterday, to be honest with you. I mean, 5 years is not a long time at all. You know, and it's in our faces every single day. We see the same people we associate with, you know, people that are close to them.
And like so many in Delphi, Omar Ruiz has learned not to jump to conclusions when new details are released.
You know, I can't make speculations and I can't say he did or he didn't. You know, it's one of those things that, once again, we're a community. You know, we try to stick together as much as possible.
The leaked document also gave new information about the crime scene, saying one of the victims was missing an article of clothing. There were no visible signs of a struggle or fight. Investigators also recovered fibers and unidentified hairs, and it also appeared the girls' bodies were moved and staged.
Delphi murders case, we are now getting a preview of the evidence that Richard Allen's attorneys plan to present to defend themselves against contempt charges by the prosecutor.
Well, the hearing is now 10 days away.
Rich and I back live in studio tonight with a defense exhibit list that focuses on communication between the prosecutor and also crime podcasters. Rich?
Right, so we need to set up some background here before we get into tonight's story. Remember, the Indiana Supreme Court put Richard Allen's public defenders back on the case, but they still face a hearing March 18th on whether they should be held in contempt of court. Carroll County Prosecutor Nick McLeland argues that defense attorneys Bradley Rosie and Andrew Baldwin should be held in contempt of court for what he calls a trend of not being completely honest with the court. The prosecutor says the attorneys violated the gag order in the case by issuing a press release December 1st, 2022, proclaiming Allen's innocence. McLeland also points to information, including crime scene photos, leaked to the public through Baldwin's office. Attorney David Hennessy is representing Rosie and Baldwin against the contempt charges. Hennessy has filed a list of 26 exhibits for the March 18th hearing. That includes communication between the prosecutor and a YouTube crime podcaster named Gary Bodette, shown here on his Fig Salt show. The evidence includes Bodette allegedly sending defense work product to the prosecutor. Bodette revealing investigation information on his YouTube show that was not yet public, and an email where McLeland allegedly asked Bodette to delete everything. Several other YouTube crime podcasts are listed as evidence, including Frank Meister, Anthony Greeno's Crime Nation, and The Inquisitor True Crime. Court TV producer Barbara McDonald's reporting of alleged leaked investigation information is also listed in the exhibits. And this YouTube video called The Reckoning in Carroll County might also be shown in court. All this seems to indicate the defense wants to put the focus of the contempt hearing in Allen County on the prosecutor's actions. The defense also says it received an anonymous call from a woman in Texas just last week claiming to have about 240 pages of leaked documents and agreed to provide them. But the defense says they've only received a few of those so far, so the defense has asked for an extension of the deadline.
Legal experts who are concerned tonight about how the prosecutor learned the name of a potential defense expert witness.
Leaked information. We've heard that before in this case too, right? Carroll County Prosecutor Nicholas McLeland is asking for the mental health records of Richard Allen since he was moved to a state prison. But in the prosecutor's court filing, he cites information that was only available in a private defense document. As public defenders, Bradley Rosie and Andrew Baldwin have to request funding for expert witnesses from Judge Francis Gull. That happens through what's called an ex parte motion, meaning only the defense and the judge see it. But in a new motion from the prosecutor, Nicholas McLeland names a psychologist and quotes the defense motion that's supposed to be secret and sealed.
Someone may have leaked something they shouldn't have done. That's certainly possible. And if that's true, the court will no doubt want to find out who it was that leaked it.
It raises questions on how another party here, the state of Indiana, would have received a copy of an ex parte motion.
The Indiana Public Defender Council says this case screams of the problem in most courts across the state, where the public defenders are not independent of judges. McLeland did not reply to a message asking how he got the information from the defense ex parte motion. And I talked to several attorneys today who all said this is a serious problem that could result in sanctions for whoever's responsible and even more legal battles. The defense has also filed a motion now to extend the deadline for discovery in this case.
Certainly have seen all sorts of twists and turns, haven't we?